Welcome back to the Colts Corral. I'm your host, Brian Bibey, and today we're joined by Head Coach Nick Mayle to recap the Colts' 36-8 win over the South Harrison Hawks in the opening round of the WVSSAC Class AA playoffs. And we're going to preview this coming Friday night second round matchup against Clay County, which will also be held at home for the first time in Colts history, Colts football program history. 2 back-to-back games being hosted at George Beyer Field at Freedom Bank Park on the campus of Barbour High School. So, again, another first for this organization, which is just fantastic. So, Coach, welcome in this evening.
Hey, thank you, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, what impressed you the most about the team's performance in that 36-8 win over the South Harrison Hawks last Friday night?
I think, really from the jump, getting those couple fourth down stops and then responding by scoring. Part of South Harrison's game plan was to keep our offense off the field. So, when our offense did get on the field, they executed and did their job. So, just being able to, not fall asleep with the pace of the game because it was pretty slow. And then, just being able to perform and stay on task and complete our mission.
Let's talk about those fourth down stands. They obviously, like you said, it was obvious that they were going to try and milk the clock for everything it was worth. I mean, they were snapping the ball with 1 second left on the play clock, got a couple delay of game penalties as well throughout the night. So you obviously could see that. You guys knew that. I thought those fourth down stops were big. Can you talk a little bit about that first one? I think it really set the tempo for the defense from there on out.
Yeah, I mean, the kids were going on their reads and, they were ripping off, a couple yards at a time. And if we were late getting to the read, that's when they, got more yardage or whatever. But, when you get down there in fourth and short and you're against a stick guy team, there's limited options of what they want to do. Knowing that they probably don't have the speed to beat us to the outside. So, they're going to run power, they're going to run lead or dive. So we're playing inside the tackles then. So, it's easier for the linebackers to fill and, get to the point of attack. So, getting up there, I think they had moved the ball. It was not still on our side of the field, if I remember correctly, about the 30 or 35 yard line or something like that. So, that's kind of that's a gutsy call. I mean, the coach, he knew that, it's a playoff football game. You got to take some chances and stuff. And knowing that where our offense was at, he took that chance and our kids responded and, got the stop. So then now we're only working with a 30, 35 yard field to, go down and score. So, and did a good job of doing that.
Yeah, I thought you guys definitely capitalized when you needed to there in that first half. I know the score's 14-0 at halftime, but when you did have the ball, you capitalized on those opportunities. Let's talk about that run defense, man. My gosh, South Harrison ran the ball 50 times for 147 yards and a touchdown. So less than 3 yards a carry, Coach. I know you'll take that all day long.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and they got a touchdown there at the end. We're trying to sub some guys in and all that stuff. So, our defense played really well. And our guys, some teams they don't like to play the run. They want to play in space on defense, but our guys will, they're willing to fight you in a phone booth. So, if you want to run at the teeth of it, then we'll accept that. So, just they were able to get on their reads and the linebackers were able to fill nicely. And, Parker Harrod, I think he led the team in tackles. I think he had 21 total tackles. So that's assists and solos. And I think he had a sack in there, a couple tackles for loss. So, they kept running. I think, with we had Cam out of the game there on defense and they thought that they could take advantage. So they were running to that side. I think Robbie Jones was playing out where Cam usually would have been. Yeah. And they thought they could get there. So what that ended up making happen was Mason Jones doing a lot of the filling, and then Parker Harrod was able to run and fill the cutbacks and get to the ball carrier. So that helped him out getting his tackles, and he got him on the ground. So it was a good effort.
I thought Parker played an outstanding game. Matter of fact, we gave him the Performance Chevrolet Player of the Game on the defensive side of the ball. Jeff and I did. And on the offensive side of the ball, we gave Robbie the game ball on that one, but we'll get to that in just a second. But I was really impressed with how Parker responded. It's certainly an extended opportunity to show what he can do. He's just been playing lights out. So hats off to him. I also want to talk to you about Tristan Price. I thought Tristan played another outstanding game out there. Just want to get your thoughts on him.
Yeah, I mean, we got two. There's two sophomores that are really stepping up and playing, and giving us more options in the in the secondary and then at linebacker position, and they can both come over and play some offense too. So, hopefully, Parker, he's kind of built like a basset hound puppy. I mean, I hope he grows into his paws because he's going to be a big kid, and he loves the weight room, and he likes to work hard, and then Tristan's just gifted athletically, super fast, able to react and move real well. And, if you can catch him up to where, where we are at in the secondary, making calls and stuff, he's going to be special back there too. And he's also, he could be explosive on offense. I mean, you see how he can carry the ball there a couple weeks ago when he ran back that, interception there. I mean, he could find open space and get there. So looking forward to their future. Again, just only being sophomores, they're a pretty great duo.
Well, they are, and quite frankly, I mean, I'm starting to watch all these younger guys. They're not sophomores anymore, right? I mean, they might as well just call them a junior, but as much playing time as they've got this year.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah. I
all,
mean,
we're
that's
all
the thing. That's the thing about Darren Hayes there at North Marion. You're going to the playoffs several years in a row. Your younger guys are getting 2 to 3 weeks of extra practice every year, and by the time they graduate, they basically had a fifth season of development. So it really helps. And these younger guys have developed over the season. To get where they're at now, to where we can put them in rotations here in the postseason. So, that's what is great about what we do is watching those kids develop and see them turn into something that they didn't think they could be at the beginning.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing to watch. Certainly getting the chance to cover them every week. Jeff and I watch those younger players, and Aiden Thorne's another one. The young man just continues to impress me. The way he kicks the ball, and I know he's an athlete. He does a lot more than just kick the
He's
ball.
a football player that's a kicker.
Exactly, I think that's the right way to say it. And I'm impressed watching him play, and what a weapon he's been. On the special teams side of the ball, but. There's other kids, Remy Mollinex, man. Remy's really solidified that center position for you guys. I remember last year, we had some issues, with high snaps, low snaps, maybe one or two this year. I mean, Remy's done an outstanding job, and I do watch him. He's done a great job blocking as well. So don't want to forget that young man. He can get lost in the
Yeah,
shuffle once in a while.
right. That's another sophomore, so that's good news for the program.
Yeah, for sure. And I know I'm missing some kids, and I apologize for that, but just those are off the top of my head. So I love seeing the development. So keep it going. We had on the offensive side of the ball, we gave the game ball to Robbie. He was only 4 of 12 for 71 yards, but 3 of those were for touchdowns. So, if you're only going to complete 4 passes, you might as well get 3 of them for touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll take that all day. I mean, when the run, and he ran the ball really well too. Again, Cam being out, he ran some of the stuff that Cam usually runs, and we go to a run heavy formation and and load the box up. Then we got some outside receivers that can make plays. So Robbie was able to connect on several of those, and and hit some deep balls there to Malachi Poling, and he hauled them in. And it's just when things are clicking, it helps out a lot.
We had a unusual rushing leader this week, Tyler Vance, 4 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown, Coach. And I knew Tyler was fast. I didn't realize how fast he was until I saw him shoot up that middle like a rocket up his rear end. Because, I mean, that kid he was gone, And I just wanted to ask you about that play, because that's really been that staple play over the years for you guys. Jeff and I talk about all the time. I think it was an inside reverse. He took that thing and split people like nobody's business.
Yeah, I mean, a little misdirection. I mean, when you start overloading one side, and we're obviously going to take what the defense gives us. So seeing that they're reading and running to one direction to the strength or whatever, and you can hit back weak side, and it's all it's timing, and you got to be right. Sometimes it hits great, and sometimes the defense guesses right, and it doesn't hit real well. But Tyler, when he got the ball in his hands and he had a little green grass, I mean, he ran like a scalded cat. So when he's got open space, and he's more of a defensive guy, so if he gets a chance to score a touchdown, he's gonna run like he stole something.
He did. And speaking of on the offensive side of the ball, I thought Parker had a tremendous catch down there on the sideline or near sideline. Now got called back on penalty, but I thought he did a wonderful job there on that play. And so again, I mean, just everybody contributing. Landon had his usual. He didn't even run the ball that much, and 11 for 86 and a touchdown. And you start going down. Mason, I thought Mason did a fantastic job coming in and lightening the load, on those other guys in the backfield. So again, hats off to the offensive line. They always do a great job. Don't talk about them enough. They always do a wonderful job. So let's talk about. I guess the last question I want to ask you about this past game. What did you learn about your team in that playoff atmosphere at home?
Well, I mean, we play well at home, and now we got to approach every game, especially the seniors. Like, this is your last game. So everybody's record is 0-0 right now, or 1-0 if you're still in it. Um, so like what you did previous to this point, all it got you was seeding. We put in a body of work to be fortunate enough to be able to host the first game, and then you win that, and then we, get to host the second one coming up this week. So it's do or die time. That was kind of the pregame talk that I had. We talked like, there is no tomorrow, and we're on Sanju's fatal ground now. So in fatal ground, you can look at it as it's a dark thing. Like, yeah, I might die, but I'm not asking any of the guys to die. But the positive about all of that is, a warrior that's in a place where they're ready to die. That's when you're going to get your best out of them, when they're going to be focused the most. And they bought into that, and came out and performed. And it's just business from here on out. Like, we have to handle business. We have to approach every game like it's the last game, because it possibly could be.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate that feedback. I just wanted to see what your thoughts were on that. Hey, on to the next one, right? Survive and advance. And now, Friday night, second time first time in Colts history that they get to host a second round playoff game against Clay County. Now, that's the team that came to our place last year and we beat in the first round. So they certainly have revenge on their minds, no doubt. They beat Roane County a little bit. I don't want to call it an upset because, they're both quality teams. So they were, I think, 8 and 9 seeds, somewhere around there. But talk to me about what kind of challenge Clay presents to the Colts.
Well, they, playing them last year, and we played them past years during the season, and they're pretty much the same philosophy offensively. They're gonna spread you out, and they're like they're a spread offense that's going to run that air raid. They're getting rid of the ball. I think the quarterback's letting it loose within 2 seconds, if not earlier. So he's making quick reads and releasing the ball. So that makes it kind of difficult as far as getting to him. And then, he's the younger brother of the quarterback that we faced last year, and the dad is the offensive coordinator. So if you want your quarterback to know the offense, being being his dad and living in the same house, that kind of helps. Yeah, they're gonna. That's right. So they're gonna run the ball, when they have to, and try to catch you off balance a little bit. But they'll throw quick quick out routes and hitch routes and snag routes, and then if you press up on them, they're not afraid to take a shot. They beat Roane County on some, Roane was playing some cover 0, cover 1 stuff on them, and they just threw it over top. And they got some talented outside receivers that, can go out and make that catch for them. So, we got to be on our A game in the secondary. We got to keep the quarterback. He's got some wheels, and keeping him under wraps. If we do get him flushed out, we got to make sure that he's not able to escape very far and get him on the ground. So, they present a challenge on that side of the ball, and then defensively, they're very aggressive. Their D line, they got guys that are just shooting gaps and trying to cause chaos in the background. Their defensive ends are pretty, they're speedy. They'll run upfield and try to hem in the backfield there. And they got a couple, guys that are kind of meaty up there in the middle too. I think the one kid's like 6'4", 365 pounds or something like that. They're, if you watch them on film, their linebackers are making reads and getting to the ball and making good steps. They're all kind of moving in unison. So well coached, and so we just got to be on our A game and make sure that we execute and do our job.
Well, and to the listeners that are watching our show, just kind of give you a little context. There's a little bit of studying that I've done already. I mean, this young man is a sophomore. I think the quarterback's a sophomore. Already 2,500 yards on the season, 25 touchdowns. I'm wanting to say, I can't remember how many picks, maybe 12. I might be wrong on that. But the reason why I tell the listeners that, he has 4 or 5 receivers that have over 20 catches apiece. So that just tells you this young man can spread the ball out, like Coach Mayle said. They're going to spread the Colts defense out, and Colts secondary. Really, the whole team's going to have to be ready, aren't they, Coach, on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a team effort, and we gotta make sure that we are, dialing up things that are going to hit. And, the thing about, sometimes you might hit a home run and sometimes you might strike out. But, we got to make sure that everybody's communicating and, on the same page. And, I told the kids yesterday at practice, like a breakdown in coverage equals a touchdown for them. So we just got to make sure that we're on point.
Yeah, no doubt about that. What last couple questions? What's going to be the key to success for the Colts Friday night?
Well, I think we're going to have to control the ball offensively. It's supposed to be raining a little bit too, so ball security is a been a point of emphasis this week. Not just for the rain, but you watch them on film and they're trying to peanut punch the ball out, and just when you think you're in open space and running toward the end zone, somebody's going to come up behind you and knock the ball out. So we got to make sure that we control the football in that way, but also possession time. Make sure that we can run the ball effectively, and make sure that passes are high percentage completions. So taking care of the ball on the offensive side, and then defensively, just making sure we're sound and making sure that everybody's on the same page and doing their job, and getting the call and communicating that across the defense. So, and then tackling. I mean, you got to get them on the ground. So, and then we need to special teams just be able to maybe steal one if we can, and be aggressive and make that a factor in the game as well.
Okay. What last question? What's the team's energy been like at practice this week? Coming off that win, you guys get together Saturday mornings for your meetings, and then now we have Monday and Tuesday practice. What's the energy been like?
Been pretty decent. I mean, we've had a great offensive practice yesterday. Defense, was working some kinks out at practice, and then today we flipped that around. No, not really flipped it around. I mean, offense and defense did well at practice today, and it was high energy defensive practice. So, that's just building and getting ready, and then tomorrow, be ready to rock and roll, and all the game plan stuff is ironed out and ready to go. So then tomorrow's just kind of in shells and making sure that we're cleaned up and any last minute questions. And then Thursday is just our turn up day where we're just putting the icing on the cake on Thursday. So it's been a pretty good week of practice. Today we moved indoors because it's 40 degrees and raining, and we don't need that. I heard Rich Rod say that practicing the cold doesn't make you tough; it just makes you cold. So practicing it, practicing in 40-degree rain isn't going to make us tough. It's just going to give you hypothermia. So we had, even though we were inside, we hit the weight room. We've been lifting 3 days a week throughout the season. So today was an upper body day, so we lifted and then got after practice and did really well where we were at. So I was pleased with today and ready to go for tomorrow.
Well, my last comment, and we really haven't talked a whole lot about this year, but I tell you, it's so evident that Viking performance that comes in and works with you guys. I'm assuming you're around now, but it's amazing what they've done with these young men on the Colts team, because when other teams are sucking for air and got their hands on these, guess who's standing straight up ready for the next play? Colts. I've seen it all year. It's amazing what that program has done. And what is it, Jerry? Is it Jerry that has Viking performance?
Yeah. Jerry Hanley, he's the owner of Viking Performance. He has a team of coaches. Paul Mauser usually comes down and with us, and it's set up pretty nice. And we start that about January, and then go January through August with it, or into August, and then during the season here, I've been running things, but with picking up things from Jerry and his advice and that kind of things, and it's worked out pretty good. And just trying to keep the kids where they were at when we stopped with Viking Performance there at the end of July. So just making sure they're not losing anything, and in some cases, some of them have gained strength as the season has went on. So it's worked out pretty well. And he's a Mike Borowitz descendant. He worked with Borowitz under Coach Rich Rod when he was there the first time, and so there's a whole lot of goes into it. It's a whole lot of science and everything else that's above my head. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to pick up heavy things and put them down. So um, but he builds it all, like programs it all out. A 9-month program and benchmarks of where we're supposed to be at and that kind of stuff. And it's been great. And the biggest thing is he instills that mindset to the kids, starting in January of, pushing through and not quitting and pushing your body. And and then it carries over into the season. So that's the number one thing. Then when we're looking at off-season things, that's top of the list.
Well, and along those lines, I know you have people ask all the time, well, hey, how can I help? Or what does my donation to the football team help with? Well, you can see what that goes towards, and it's to help that training cost because it's not cheap. But it's
No.
look what it's doing. Look what it's doing for the program.
Yeah, I mean, you can get donations, and some people, the first thing at the top of their list is new uniforms or whatever. But the top of our list is that every single year, and then I work from that point. So that's the biggest thing that we go after, and like it's professional strength conditioning. So you're not paying somebody from the YMCA, some personal trainer, to come down and give you what you need, or some coach that lifted heavy weights in the 80s to be able to run things with you. These guys are top notch, working with D1 level athletes, Olympic athletes. They do virtual training with those type of guys. And, they have like Paul Mauser, his specialty is like strongman competition. So they got a mix of everything, and then building in speed workouts and agility stuff. I mean, it's the whole deal. So it's been great.
Yeah, definitely. So I would just encourage any Colts fans that are listening, you want to help out, man, get ready to get a hold of Coach Mayle, and he'll certainly appreciate anything that you guys can do to help with the team, because those types of um, program building blocks, it takes money. There's just there's no other way to say it. It does. So get a hold of Coach Mayle, any of the coaching staff, they'll help you. And I just want to give a
And
plug
just
on
to
that
be
side.
just to be clear, yeah, I didn't egg you on
No,
to send us any money or anything, but it would be
no,
greatly appreciated. I mean, we are
no.
you know we don't have a budget for our program, so everything we do, we had to fundraise for it, and
Now
we've been
this
pretty
is
blessed
Brian.
there.
This is just Brian talking as a fan, as alumni. Yeah, Coach Mayle and I did not talk about this. I just think it's a very important piece of the puzzle that don't nobody talks about. I mean, you guys know that. I know that because I'm close to the program, but it's a very important piece of this puzzle to keep this thing going down the tracks the way it is. And you see it game after game in in the third, fourth quarter, man, our guys are getting stronger. The other team's sucking wind. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Well, I appreciate that, Brian.
Yeah, it's how you win. Coach, I'll let you have the last word. Game Friday night, 7 o'clock at home. First time in Colts history. This team has a chance to do something special and get 10 wins here right away. I don't know that that's ever happened in Colts history. So can you just take us out with that, and then I'll wrap things up?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time that we're going to have a quarterfinal game at our home field, and we've went to the playoffs the last couple of years, and we've won away, and then we won at home and make it to that quarterfinal, and then you have to travel somewhere, and you're playing a higher seed, and it hasn't worked out real good for us in the quarterfinals the last couple of years. But our guys they play well at home, and the reason why they play well at home is because of the people come out and support them. I mean, the people come out and make a difference, and our community shows up, and we just need that again Friday night. It's maybe a little chance of rain, so bring your ponchos and your umbrellas. But these boys, these seniors, the senior group has been something special, and they deserve all the support they can get. And we've this group has been a part of history a few times already. They're the first group they were part of the team, the first one to win a playoff game. They were first and set the school win record at I think 9-3 then. They were first group to host a playoff game last year, and now they're the first group to host a quarterfinal playoff game this year, with a chance to compete to be in a semifinal game. So there's just a lot of things that this group of seniors has been a part of, and it's just we appreciate the support they've already received, but I think the goal this Friday, rain or shine, whatever's going on, we just need to pack the house and get everybody to the field and bring your mom and them, everybody. So we just need to show up and be loud and let the kids feel that energy.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Come out and support these guys. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Coach, we found out today too that the radio station that we work for, WDNE in Elkins, not only are we going to be on 1240 AM and 99.9 FM locally, they're going to put us on 98.9 FM as well. So I want to get that out there for everybody listening. So we'll be on 3 local channels here. Again, 98.9 FM, WDNE. That will be a simulcast on there as well. But you can pick us up on the www.wdnefm.com. Go to Philip Barbour Sports Stream. You'll catch us there. Download the WVRC Media app. Scroll away to the bottom. Click on the WDNE radio button. You'll have us wherever you're at on your cell phone, whatever. But you'll get Jeff and I at 6:45, playoffs at 7, kickoffs at 7. So Coach is going to wrap up this playoff edition of the Colts Corral. Big thanks again to Coach Mayle for always spending time with me on a Tuesday or Wednesday night and giving Colts listeners and fans a little bit of insight of what's going on in the program. Don't miss this action Friday night. I promise it's going to be great. They host Clay County, second round Class AA playoffs. Again, like, subscribe, and share this video to support the Colts on their playoff journey. Until next time, go Colts.